Hi, and welcome to Identify Difficulties and Take Action. So as part of your role, you'll need to identify difficulties and then take action to solve them. And this happens in any workplace, in any role, pretty much. So the first point is to identify difficulties. So it might be difficulties you're having with someone. It could be identifying difficulties you're having with yourself. It could be identifying difficulties in your work, and so on. So there are a number of ways in which we can do this. The first is looking at reports and data. So you might have some data on some sales. You might have some data on your performance. You might have a report on your company's performance or someone else's performance. So these can be used to help you to pinpoint areas in which you might need to take some action. You might also have some conversations with customers. So some customers might give you some feedback that is positive or negative. Positive being areas in which you can build on and continue to do, maybe introduce with your colleagues, but also, more importantly, areas of concern. So areas that you need to fix, areas that weren't so good. You might also have feedback from other people. So it could be your teammates, your work colleagues, your boss, or your underlings if you've got someone underneath you, looking at what you can do to do better. And also your own feelings. So you might experience something and say, you know what, that wasn't quite right. You might play over a conversation you had at the end of the day and say, what could I have done better? Your feelings are a really good way to get feedback on things that need to change and where issues might be. The next step would be obviously to take action. So what action can we take? It's important that the action we take is within our own responsibility. So we are actually able, or we're allowed, to take the action that we're looking for. As a very low-level employee, you're not going to be firing someone, for example. So you might you might be taking action on someone who is your own delegate. So you're a manager and you've got people that you're in charge of. Obviously, that's someone that you can take action with. You might need to talk to a manager above you to get things done. It might be a problem you have with someone in another team. Is it actually your job to take this action? That's an important thing as well. It might be someone else's job, like that manager we talked about, to have that discussion. And also, do you have the power to take this action? So are you allowed to do this in your area of responsibility? With all of these, there's obviously the opportunity to go and have a conversation with the person first, or send an email, or open up a dialogue with that sort of thing. But it depends on whether that conversation is appropriate in the policies that your organization has. And so then we go through and look at organisational and legal requirements. So we've got WHS. You're obligated to say something and take action if you notice a safety issue. We've got industry codes of practice, which could define common problems and how we need to fix them, or to what standard they need to be fixed. EEO, if we look at employment-based issues, there might be a grievance policy in the organisation. So what to do if you actually have a grievance with someone, and also an employee handbook, which sets out general ideas as well. So there's a number of ways in which you can identify and also take the action that you need. And so you just need to be aware of those things when you go into the workplace.